Good morning, everybody. It is, what is it? It's the 30th of July. So summer is well underway here. Uh, First of all, do you like my new shirt? Canadians and maybe Americans will recognize this. This is Relic from the old 1970s, I think late 70s, TV show, The Beachcombers. And I thought this shirt caught my attention. I love it. So I thought this morning I just kind of read something I wrote a while ago, July 12th. I wrote it's about called "Fake It Till You Make It," and I try to keep a positive attitude about all this stuff, as hard as it is. I've gone through periods of extreme anxiety and sadness and weeping and so on. Luckily, I'm kind of getting past that now. I don't know if I'm just numb or tired or I've figured out how to do things, but I've got enough activities in my life to fill the few quiet times that I have to keep me busy, keep my mind occupied. And this YouTube channel is a great source of support, and it lifts my spirits hearing from everybody, reading your comments and replying and so on. I feel like I'm part of a community. I feel like I'm doing something, and that makes me happy. So and I realize it's for some of you, this is incredibly difficult. You have challenges that I can't even imagine. I know that. I know there are people who have no respite care whatsoever, who have financial difficulties, and whose loved ones have terribly difficult behaviors, hard thing, angry, drinking, sad, even violent, controlling. I know that happens. And so I'm not trying to dismiss that or minimize it in any way. But so that's a preface to what I'm going to read here, which is something I wrote about trying to make yourself happy. So it's about neuroplasticity in dementia care. It's about choosing to be happy. And neuroplasticity, also known as brain plasticity, it's the ability of the neural networks in the brain to change through growth and reorganization. It's how you rewire your brain to make it function differently. So think of the fake it till you make it principle, or the idea that you have to practice, I think, 10,000 hours of some activity to master it, to get good. But it's the fake it till you make it. And another way to put this, something that caught my attention was an expression that says, neurons that fire together wire together. Laughing yoga. You may have seen that. That's where people get together and they go, ha, 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 like a Santa Claus laugh, and they're faking it. So there's a practice called laughing yoga. You may have seen that. That's where people get together and they go, ha, 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 like a Santa Claus laugh, and they're faking it. They're just pushing it. It doesn't mean that they're laughing at anything in particular. They're just going through the motion of expelling that air. And this somehow tricks the mind. It's shown through some kind of studies, maybe not super scientific studies, but studies that this going through the motions of laughing lifts your spirit, makes you feel better. So it causes the brain chemicals, the happy chemicals, to start flowing. And it's the neurons that fire together, wire together. If you keep laughing and so on, it makes you a happier person. So here it's described as a series of movement and breathing exercise to promote deliberate laughter. It's used as a remedy for physical, psychological, and spiritual ailments. Advocates believe that intentional or simulated laughter can provide benefits equal to those of spontaneous laughter, like laughing at a joke. And I believe it. So, why am I sharing this? This sort of fake it till you make it thing has helped me get through some of the harder days, the days when I've been up till the wee hours of the morning with my mind spinning, thinking this woman next to me, this pillar of power, this amazing wife of mine, she's laying here, and it's not the same person. Her brain is dying. This woman that's breathing next to me is not the right same person. There's something drastically wrong with her, and I don't know where it's going to end. So these thoughts spinning in my mind, and I use some of this to get me through. You know, I say my days were filled with victory and happiness and huge challenges, stress, upset, anxiety, and ongoing ambiguous grief. I had heightened emotions and greater vulnerability, but openness, and I experienced honesty and openness that many of us experience. And we see higher peaks and lower valleys through the course of a day. Our moods go up and down, more dramatically than normal. And our physical and emotional batteries seem to charge and drain more rapidly and in more frequent cycles than in the before times. So personally, I could bounce between waves of love and appreciation and great purpose, and then waves of deep exhaustion and sadness of loss, all in the course of a few hours. I've never been that way. I've always been Mr. Stoic. My mood has always been pretty level and stable all day, every day. And I used to tell Heather, don't expect much from me. I'm a very simple and maybe shallow man. So I used to tell her that. That's all changed. My emotions are just shh. And you have to be open with this stuff. You have to accept it and let it roll. You have to, if you hold it in, you're going to explode. So, um, and then, so I had an example of things that changed. There's times when Heather succumbs to whatever emotional part of her brain tells her to get upset or cry, and it usually happens before bed, and sometimes in the morning. Sometimes at other times during the day, she seems to get frustrated, and I hear the sound that sounds like crying, and or is it laughing? I can't tell. More crying than laughing, but it clearly comes from a place of frustration and confusion, and it's very, very upsetting to me. And I get flustered and frustrated, like trying to get her dressed, and she won't follow simple instructions like lift your foot. Um, so I just, at first I didn't know what to do. I would get frustrated. But then at one point I thought, no, I can't get frustrated. It's not going to work. I can't speak louder. I can't push her around. So I took her face in my hands, and I said something like, I don't know, I don't know if it registered. I held her face in my hands. I said, honey, don't cry. Don't get upset. That's no good for you, and it's no good for me. And this is going to get harder. And sometimes I'll say, and if it doesn't work here at home, you're going to end up in some other place with some strangers taking care of you, wiping your bum and stuff. You don't want that. So I said, instead of crying, say meow, meow. And she stopped. So she listened. She heard what I was saying. And I repeated meow, meow a couple. And then she looked at me, and in the blubbering said, meow, meow. And my God, it was a light went on. So, now I use that as a device, as a tool. If things go bad and she's upset, I'll just turn to her and say, meow, meow. And often it'll interrupt her thought process. And she'll repeat it to me through the blubbering, and the tone will change, and maybe to a bit more laughter. So, but here's the magic part is that even if it doesn't change her completely, it changes me. It changes the way I'm thinking in that moment. It changes my brain and my thought processes to nothing's that bad. Let's just be silly here. Lighten it up, John. Don't get worked up. Don't get frustrated. Just meow meow. So that's a device. That's a tool. It's playfulness, and it's a good way. It's a good reaction to stress if there's nothing you can do to change it. So it's a sort of a new soundtrack to my caregiving, and I think it rewires my thoughts. And there's another example. There's some mornings I wake up, and maybe we've been up two or three times throughout the night, and I had to take Heather to the bathroom and change her pull-ups, and there's wet sheets and stuff like that. It's been a rough night. I wake up in the morning, and my temptation is to go, oh, here we go again. It's going to be another one of these days. I'm exhausted, and it's going to be a rough day. And I start to feel sorry for myself with good justification. So sometimes I have this I think, stop, don't go down that road. And what I do is I lay there in bed. I pause, try to clear my mind, and I try to force myself to smile. So I actually the corners of the cheeks are going up, the eyes are getting all like that. And I just feel my cheeks flexing, and I feel the motion of the smile. And then I might try to think a positive thought or two. Very, simple things like, today is going to be a good day. Today I'm going to get a few things done and I'm going to enjoy myself. Today I'm not going to push myself. Today I'm going to look at Heather and smile at her face. Simple things like that, just positive affirmations. And I actually feel different. I feel better when my feet hit the floor. It works. It rewires your brain, or restarts your brain off in a different gear in the morning. And this is a great way to get things going. Some people go for a run in the morning, or what they do, yoga, or they do something like that, and they have a routine, a positive routine. The running is good because it releases chemicals in the brain, happy chemicals, loosens your body. But smiling, I think this releases happy chemicals too, and it makes your body feel different. So, and again, look, I just want to make it super clear. I'm not trying to minimize the difficulty that people go through, and I recognize that I have it pretty darn good compared to many people. So I'm just trying to share a tip or two, hoping that it'll be helpful for you to get you through your own caregiving day and your journey as a caregiver to a loved one with dementia. And as always, stay strong, hang in there today. Please subscribe wherever that is, and please leave some comments. I really love hearing from people, and it lifts my spirits. I read every comment, and I often reply to them too. So hang in there. Have a great day, and thanks for following along. Bye.